Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself, James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself, James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going better than fantastic. And I really appreciate everyone's support and love and prayers. I also appreciate the comments and questions and sharing and caring and helping for others. I think it's a wonderful thing. Because we are living in a world where evil is trying to take hold in as many areas as it can take hold. And it's doing so using those such as narcissists as a vehicle or a means of gaining their power and control. And saying that really ties in with the topic of today's video. A topic that was suggested by a subscriber. And I really appreciate your suggestion and request to speak about this. You see, there are many layers, and that's the problem when talking about and explaining narcissism to the great many in the world that want to have a 30-second answer to things. You see, those in this world have been conditioned to react with a knee-jerk reaction to things. And to have low attention spans. And to only be able to see the surface levels of topics and issues. This greatly benefits the narcissist and other toxic individuals. Because there are a great many layers to the narcissist and what they do and how they operate. I've said before, though my narcissist mother wasn't very smart in regards to her schooling and education, she was hands down one of the best short-term and long-term manipulators out there. And an example of that was my mother very early on. Noticed I was seeing what was happening in our home as wrong. And I questioned it. My brother, who turned out to be the golden child. He went along with nearly everything my mother wanted and was a part of. Now here's where the long-term thinking and evil genius of my mother showed itself. And it's something majority of people wouldn't be able to see, nor would they believe if they were told this after the fact. And that my mother made sure my brother was turned into a really angry person. Especially angry towards me and my father, who passed away when I was young. But she made sure that he turned him into a person that literally couldn't function normally in society and a person that had emotional and anger issues. Now think about this, she started planting these seeds in him when we were little. Because she knew. At some point once I became an adult. If she couldn't convince me to stay and be a constant source of supply. That at some point, I would leave. And she could then in turn make my brother the new scapegoat. Now she had this all planned out when we were little, and for this to play out when we became adults. And the average person would say, there's no way someone can or would plan something as crazy as that out over that long of a period of time. But those of us that grew up in such homes clearly know they sure can plan out something that evil over a long period of time. I tell this story to not only illustrate how important the fuel or the narcissistic supply is for the narcissist, and how important the facade is to keep people in the dark regarding what the narcissist is really up to, and keeping people in the dark regarding how evil the narcissist really is as a being on this earth. But this story was also shown to let you know there are many layers to narcissism. You see, narcissist can't live without narcissistic supply, or in this case fuel. However, narcissists will get their fuel from many sources, and oftentimes they will plan out ways to get this fuel or supply years and sometimes decades in advance. Here's an example I can use. Have you ever heard one of the best ways to become financially successful is creating 8 sources of income? Well, there is some truth into that. If you have a job, let's say, you might have a home that you rent out. And possibly you might have the ability to do taxes for others. And a few other ways to earn income. Along with investing that money wisely. One can make pretty good financial strides in many cases. Well, narcissists look at narcissistic supply and gaining narcissistic supply in the same or at least similar way. They create and have usually many different streams of supply. Maybe they get supply from being cruel to someone. But they also get supply knowing that person they are being cruel to can't ask for help because no one will believe them. They gain supply from fooling others into believing they are a nice person. They gain supply by doing the narcissist do test to someone and still being able to reel them into their narcissistic web. They gain narcissistic supply from turning others onto the lifestyle of being a narcissist. They gain narcissistic supply by gaining access to something good and getting people to turn on one another and to have such thing break up and go down the tubes. No matter it be someone's marriage or relationship or a church or school or workplace. Narcissists gain supply by being the victim on one hand with some people, and by being the villain on another hand with other people. So without the facade, without manipulation, it would be very difficult to get the narcissistic supply they need to survive. And in many instances the facade and what comes from that facade either directly or indirectly gives them the supply they need. It's kind of like money. A narcissist can gain supply by tricking someone out of money. Like divorcing someone. Making up all kinds of stories and getting the court to side with them to award them the house, the money and the cars of the other person. But is the money really what is important to the narcissist? Well, the answer to that would be no, but yes. Narcissists love money. And they love tricking people out of their money and gaining supply from it. But if a narcissist has to ruin their own financial life to ruin your life, they will do it in a heartbeat. A narcissist will literally allow their life to be destroyed if that means to destroy you in the process. Now, if the narcissist can prevent themselves from being destroyed, they will. But if they are at a crossroads where there is no other option, there are a great many narcissists that will do the most craziest things that really aren't good for them. But because they know it will bring you great pain, they will do these things anyway. So that really answers the question. The fuel is what drives the narcissist. The energy they get from a great many evil things. However, the facade is part of the process, and without the facade there in most cases, there is no fuel. I've mentioned many times before. Can you imagine a narcissist not doing the love bombing get to know you stage? What if the narcissist walked up to you and treated you badly from day one? Even the most codependent person would walk away. Because it would spell danger. But most importantly, we wouldn't have developed a bond with them. And walking away from someone we don't have a bond with is easier to do than to walk away from someone that we have a strong bond or tie to. Yes. There are some narcissists that just walk up to people and act terribly. But most narcissists know the game. Yes, some are smarter than others. And some are less smarter than others. But most of them by and large know they can't act how they want to act in order to get the fuel they are needing. Think about it like an animal in the wild or a lizard in the wild. They set traps and bait other animals and lizards into these traps so they are able to easily consume them. Well, narcissists know. Without scams, traps, or bait, it's very, very hard to get narcissistic supply. So they adapt. This is why protecting yourself is important. It's perfectly fine to meet people, make friends and possibly consider someone as a partner in life. But boundaries are important. Because without boundaries, it's very easy to accidentally fall into such a trap. Because one bonded to such a person and gave them the supply they were looking for. So without facade, fuel or supply is limited. Not just to catch someone in their trap, but the general enjoyment narcissists get from getting others to think they are a nice, genuine, caring person. I believe just doing that gives the narcissist a tingle in their brain. There are some things that give narcissists a big rush of supply, and some that give them small hits of supply. And I think facade is a part of the process from point A to point Z. I hope the answer to this question made sense. Please tell me what you think. I would like to hear others' experiences and thoughts. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.